Okay.
Oh, of course.
What about your audio gear and interfaces? I know
Yes.
what sort of gear you use.
Well, the heart and soul of everything here is an RME Fireface UCX. It is I can't even remember how many actual inputs and outputs it has, but a bunch. Right now, I've got it set up via ADAT through a Behringer ADA 8200. So I have
Yes.
16 channels in, and thanks to your advice, 16 channels out.
Yes, yes, I remember that one.
Yes.
Glad I could
So,
help.
oh yeah, yeah. And it's been absolutely wonderful. I started out my very first actual interface. Well, my very first interface at all was a Sound Blaster, and Sound Blaster had this little thing with a little breakout box, and I think I had that for about a week. And even being the total noob beginner that I was, I recognized within about a week I was like, I don't like this thing. It's not up for the job.
Yeah.
So I got rid of that. I got an M Audio Delta 44, and those are one of the old school PCI cards
Yes.
that you put inside your computer. Had the breakout box.
Yes, yes.
No preamps or anything. It was just 4-line ins, 4-line outs.
Yep.
I had a little Yamaha MG 102 mixer that I just used for its preamps. I just used the inserts on it to send the preamps, and I used that way for 10 years or so, and it was rock solid. It was awesome. But time goes on, and computer connectivity standards change. PCI kind of went the way of the dodo, so I ended up with this RME. I wanted something that was as reliable and robust as that Delta 44 was, because it was no trouble. It just worked always.
Yeah.
I spent a week with a different interface, and it was just a constant nightmare. And I gave it the boot, got this RME, and it's just been rock solid stable. It's easy to forget about it. It's just there and it just works. You know, so
I mean, I never had the chance to actually use RMEs, but I've heard quite a lot from a lot of professionals, other recording studios, that local studios here, they actually use RMEs, and I've gone and seen them, but I physically not used them. So, but yeah, I've known they're quite reliable and very good interfaces as well. Yep.
Yeah, I think it sounds great. The converters on it are really good, and it's not really something that's geared towards like the entry level kind of market. It's not priced.
They're not cheap.
Yeah, exactly. But after 10 or 15 years of using entry level gear, I felt like, man, I want something that's just as reliable, but the converters on it are just so good that I've started to use some outboard gear, some compressors that I loop in and use.
Yep.
And that round trip out of the interface into a compressor and back to the interface, I mean, it's amazing how good the converters are. You just get about, I mean, I can't hear any degradation in the signal quality of the extra translations from digital to analog, back to digital, and back into the DAW. I mean, it sounds just as good after all that as it did in the first place. So I'm really happy with it. It's one of those things. If you ever want to save up and buy, that's a worthwhile investment. You'll have it forever.
That's a good advice.
Yeah.
What sort of output gear you currently have, like in compressors and EQs?
Right now, basically just compressors. I have a soft spot for outboard compressors, for like analog compressors. I don't know why.
I've got a few.
Yeah,
so I understand.
There's just, I mean, software compressors are amazing, and they can do. There are so many of them, and so many high quality software compressors. But when it comes down to it, I just like that tactile interaction of the meters and the knobs, and yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
Oh yeah, there's just something about it. I started out with I'm looking at my and I've never known how to pronounce this company, whether it's ART or ART. I don't know if you spell it out. ART, yeah,
Yes.
Applied Research Technology.
Yes.
So their Pro VLA2 is like an excellent like entry level. I mean, I call it entry level. Honestly, it's just an excellent compressor. You get two channels of compression that you can either use linked in stereo or as dual mono. So I used that for years with using vocals on one side and bass guitar on the other side. It is very good at both. You can get some pretty high levels of gain reduction and use pretty high ratios without it just sounding squashed, and it's just a good transparent compressor.
Yeah, I used to actually own an ART tube mic pre's, which unfortunately, sadly, I don't know why I got rid of it. I'm kicking myself with it. I should have actually kept it, but yeah, I know what you mean. I had a very good result with it. For some reason, I don't know, I decided to sell it. Don't know why. I hardly ever sell anything that I purchase. But for that one, I don't know, for some reason, I decided to give it away. You know, it was dual tube, so there were two tubes in it, 2-channel mic pre.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think I've got a video on it on my channel. But
was that like the MPA something or
I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, I can't remember on top of my head at the moment, but I've got the video. Doesn't matter. I'll put a sort of a link here in the video.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love that compressor. And after a while, I have so many things in an average project that I want to compress. You know, a kick drum, a snare drum, just the drum bus overall,
Yes.
the bass guitar, the vocals, and then an acoustic guitar, and it was getting annoying to have to keep. You know, I've got with only 2 channels to I can render 2 channels. And then, let's go back and now let's render another 2 channels and let's go back and, find 2 more things to compress and render those. So I was like, I just want more compressors. So
We all want more compressors.
I know. For some reason, I got just really obsessed about the Empirical Labs Distressor. And again, this is not something that's priced in the entry level price range. So I set up an alert, an email alert on Reverb.com, and for months I just searched and waited and searched, and eventually one came up at an acceptable price, and I jumped on it, and that was
Bye.
Yes, exactly. I bought it that day. Yeah, and once I had one, I was like, now I want another one. Yeah. So it took a while, but I found another one for again for a good price. That's if you or your listeners, anybody out there is not familiar with Reverb.com, oh man, go log on and hide your wallet, put a hold on your bank account, and then do some browsing. And you can have all your money back after you finish browsing. But oh man, some great stuff out there, used and vintage, and
Yep.
The pair of distressors, which have just become absolutely indispensable to me. They're great sounding compressors. They're very versatile. They're good at just about everything. They have a really wide range of attack and release. You can get extremely fast attack. And extremely fast release without distorting, and there's all sorts of stuff to do that. So
they're on my list, but I think I've got enough gear. Actually, before I move on to the next question, I should actually mention that even though we are now talking about all these gear that we've got, I've got gears coming out of my ear. But I guess as I keep mentioning that these are like yourself, we accumulated these over the years. I have.
Yes.
Been purchasing gear for the last 20 years, and it's not that we sort of all of a sudden purchased everything.
Right.
Everything we sort of see, and by the time personally, by the time I actually make the decision to purchase something, I would have researched for a long time, making sure that we've got what we spending the money on is worthwhile and it will actually benefit And it's not just
Right.
because, everybody's saying, oh, it's the best, you should actually get it. It's actually
Right.
looking at saying, well, do I really need it, or or I don't need it? And so on. So in cases like an example, I have a Behringer compressor, which is a dual channel, with all the knobs and all the options in there, which I
Yeah,
used
yeah.
for a while to get. It was really good, so that if I'm recording singer-songwriter with guitar and vocals, and I've got two mics on the guitar, and I can actually use the two separate compressors for the mics. And then when it comes to a stage where I had another guy which was actually playing keyboards on the arrangement, and he had two keyboards wanted to play, and each had stereo output, and I need to compress it. And I said, well, that's going to be tough. So
Right.
because I had the project and I knew, I was getting paid for it, I needed an extra two compressors. So I thought I'll go and buy. And I found out just out of luck on eBay just then that there was a compressor with four, again, Behringer one, which has four basic compressors on there. And that's all I needed. So I went and paid a couple $100, probably even less. And no, probably $100, Australian
Okay,
that is.
okay.
And then, I had that in
deal.
before the next session, quickly learned about it, and next time we came in, plugged it all in there. So all the synth sounds and all the dynamics that keyboard players have, I should know.
Right.
I that went in before any of my analog to digital converters. So that means I got clean inputs coming in, and that worked out. So now I have a quad compressor in there. And at the same time I planned it so when I'm actually in my new studio and I need to record a drum, I've got compressors for the drums mic,
Right,
and so
right, yeah,
on.
for all the
Now
channels,
I've got
yeah.
6 compressors that I can use to mic a drum set. So everything is planned, making sure that all the gear we're purchasing, is going to be useful
Right.
for then and in the future as well. So we just want to make sure that.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people go, oh, you guys got all these gears. Yeah, but we've actually invested a lot of time.
It's been a long- yeah,
long
over a
process.
long period of time.
When you go into my garage, I still have gears that I purchased, 10 years ago, which I haven't used for the past 8 years, but it's still there. And it's,
Yeah.
it's a slow process. No one buys gears, especially in a home studio environment, in one go. It's just over time. So
Yes,
if,
exactly. Yeah,
if you,
you
don't
can't really
have
get
the
in
gears
the-
we're talking about, like RME, which I don't have, you do, or any of the other compressors, it's just a matter of time. When the time is right, you would know that you can invest the money to actually purchase it and use it.
Yeah, it's absolutely, but when it comes to like outboard gear in a home studio, it's just a nice to have kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just about anything you can do with outboard gear, you can also do with software plugins, which are generally more affordable in that.
Yeah, most
can use as
DAWs
many
come with them anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you might get some free ones, and they're very highly capable. And the one benefit to software plugins is that you can use as many instances as you want, as many instances as your computer can handle. So if you need 4 channels of compression or 8 channels of compression, you buy the plugin once, and you can use as many instances on your project as you want. Yeah, I can't really say that. I can't tell entry level people like, oh yeah, you got to run out and you got to buy the this compressor or this preamp or this interface. Really the preamps that come on interfaces today are all of a very, very good quality. The software plugins that either come with your DAW or some interfaces come with plugins that are also very good. There are lots of free plugins. There are lots of affordable plugins.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you just need an interface with preamps built into it, and that's
you're
going
good to
get you
go.
so far. Yeah, exactly.
You're good to go.
The rest kind of is icing on on the cake, and
Yeah.
the things I have, it's just because this is my main hobby. This is just kind of where my money goes. So I'm not putting myself into debt, for these things.
Yeah,
Even
that's
though
absolutely not the right way to go, for sure.
uh
Yeah, because when we're making music, we really want to enjoy making the music by any means, whatever you've got,
Yes.
And I guess that's what my channel and your channel is trying to show everybody, that you don't really need expensive gear. You just need the basic gear. On my channel, I use a lot of videos that describe free DAWs, even though they're so limited.
Right.
But I show them techniques and ways how you can use those limitations and be creative and actually still come up with professional sounding song
That's
to
good.
get you
That's
started. And once that builds up and builds up, and you can put money aside, and you can move up to the next stage and so on.